Welcome back, ladies, to the Femininity Project podcast. Today's guest is somebody who just gets beauty. And it's not in the here's how to contour your nose kind of way, but she can teach you how to do that too.
Mhm.
Anna Allen is a beauty industry expert, a product developer, and a brand builder who spent over a decade helping women feel radiant from the inside out. Through her platform, Approved by Anna, she helps women see beauty as a form of self expression and confidence as a daily ritual. She's built global products, launched standout brands, and mentored founders, all with this incredible mix of elegance and authenticity that makes you feel like you can do it too. And this is actually how I first met Anna. Was I bid on a makeup lesson that she donated to an event and I won it. Now for me, I've done my makeup or I've had my makeup done millions of times at dance competitions, but doing it myself was quite intimidating and I just had a very basic approach to it. But she made the class so fun, not intimidating. I walked away not only learning a ton, but actually enjoying the process, which is one of my favorite parts of being a woman is enjoying the beauty and the things that we do. So we stayed in touch. I eventually helped her with her walk in heels, and of course she nailed it because that's who she is. She loves being a woman, she celebrates it, and she helps other women do the same. So Anna, I am so excited that you are here. I can't wait to share this conversation. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Sarah, and thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you and your community. What you are doing, it is so important, and it is so much needed for us to be in this community, learn and grow together, and walk in heels properly, which you have taught
Love
me.
it.
And even to this day, I'm like, okay, heel, front, triangle. I have those techniques in my mind every time. And you know what? It's part of the overall confidence, because when you walk into that room, if you're not going to be confident in your walk, right? It chase. I know
Yeah,
we're going to get into it, but yes, it is so important to know how to own your heels.
100%. It's a distraction, right? If you have anything pulling your attention away from just being confident, just feeling good in your skin, it's tough.
Exactly. That is
Yeah.
exactly what we're probably going to dive into
Yeah,
today.
we will.
Exactly it. It's like everything needs to be supporting you so you
Mhm.
can be yourself.
So why don't we start here? We have a lot to talk about.
Ah.
You spent over a decade shaping beauty brands, but your message now is so much more than just the surface level appearance. You're going into all of these other things. What sparked the shift for you from product development to helping women connect with themselves through beauty?
Honestly, Sarah, and the timing of us talking was very serendipitous because this has been a journey of meeting myself, right? And it's not something that you become, it's already there.
Mhm.
And it's that time of like really reconnecting with her. And I've been through a personal journey of connecting with her. And I think that, being in the beauty industry and creating beauty products, there's always more than just that message of apply this to feel beautiful. Beauty starts in the brain. Beauty starts within you. And of course, we have products that make you, enhance you, and it can be a pleasure to apply. And I've met through this journey of creating beauty products and doing a lot of events. I work internationally from Paris to New York to all the fun events. And I met so many, like one of the most gorgeous women that you would see, front facing. And then, they're always dying for the next beauty trend. And then you start thinking, wow, like, the beauty is not just product, right? We can't chase beauty. We can't chase it. We're always going to be chasing. Yes, the cosmetic industry wants you to do that. And but it's a deeper message to yourself. You have to find beauty within yourself. And that's why I want to make it my mission to talk more than just product, to talk more about how does it, how do we become, how do we meet her, the woman inside of you that
Mhm.
is already there and doesn't need to be influenced by trends and doesn't need to be, you don't need to chase that next craze. And I
Mhm.
see the, insecurity in that throughout what we do internationally. And I'm like, that's not right. That's not who we are. Women are so powerful. And if we lean into femininity, we find that beauty. And
Mhm.
products are something that we'll get into it, I'm sure, but are something that it can be in addition to your daily routine.
Mhm. This kind of goes into your tagline. She's confident, she's radiant, she's you. That feels very aligned with also what we do at the Femininity Project. Your definition has seemed to shift as you've been going to these conferences. What has helped you evolve as both a woman and a leader in this space? It takes a lot of confidence, I would imagine, to do what you're doing.
I think that is the daily things that we do. So it's
Mhm.
even confidence, you don't become confident overnight. You have to, like, you're not born confident per se. Well, maybe we are, but the world kind of, our things that we come across every day sometimes reshift that confidence or make us feel less. So we have to rebuild it, refine it. And I think it's the daily practices. And Sarah, we know we talked a lot, you and I, offline about like how do we improve our health? How do we improve ourselves? So I think that the confidence is built in your daily routine.
Mhm.
That is the number one thing that I do to build my confidence. And just what we said in the beginning, like we want to support us to be our best self. Even just walking into that room, if you know
Yeah.
how to walk in heels, you don't have to think about it. You walk in and you're there, you're present, you're confident, right?
Mhm.
So I think it's the daily things that we do build our confidence, new experiences, and the rituals. It's a daily practice, and the little things like my morning routine is something that for me builds my confidence. I can show up feeling good. And I
Mhm.
don't necessarily think that this is like, a given, but a lot of people don't know. It starts with, gut health, and it starts with feeling
Mhm.
good inside, because if you don't feel good inside, no matter how much beauty products you put on, you're not gonna glow, right? A lot of people say, "Oh my God, Anna, you're always glowing." And that's because I take care of my health from the inside first, and
Mhm.
then I apply the product, and then I research the ingredients. But it's so important that our inside is as good as our outside. So eliminating toxic triggers, right? So meaning we're not putting a lot of toxin that will, deplete our energy, make us feel less. I
Yeah.
want to walk in that room and I want to feel the best I can so I can chase my dreams, right? And then
Mhm.
life becomes fun because then you're like, what else can I do? And this was like a practice that truly was proven. It was about 2021. It was
Mhm.
after the pandemic where I was like, I want to take charge of my health. I was going through a lot of IVF treatments, and I've had a fair share with my womanhood, let's say, and I felt less. I felt like, wow, like maybe my womanhood is disappointing me. Maybe I always saw myself as a very feminine person, but then I was dealing with fertility issues. um, so then I decided to change that story with myself. I remember my dad saying something where it always clicked, or it always actually made me wonder, why is he saying that? He's like, "Oh, and I wish somebody would see the sparkle inside of you. I wish somebody would recognize your talent." And I thought, Dad, I recognize my talent. I don't need to chase other people to validate me. And when that shifted in my mind, that I said, wait a minute, I know my talent, I know my worth. I'm not going to let my IVF journey or other people opinion dictate who I am. So then I started my daily practices giving back to me. I call it the meeting her moment.
Okay.
And that was where the magic happened for me. It was in the daily practices of taking care of my gut health. And I know it's so silly because you're like, we're talking beauty. Why are we talking about gut health? But it's
It's not silly. Yeah.
important.
Share your wisdom here.
It's so important. And Sarah, I know we talked a lot about that as well. But I think for me, learning what toxic trigger meant, and sometimes toxic trigger can be like an apple, okay? It's not always like what you think it's like alcohol of sugar or gluten or dairy. Those are the big ones, but just knowing what your body is sensitive to. Because honestly, if you are eating the wrong thing for your body, it can throw your energy off, it throws your skin off. I met so many
Yeah.
amazing, beautiful women that are battling acne and they feel so self-conscious, and it sometimes is and they tried every product in the world and nothing works. And what they usually do, which I talk a lot about clean beauty on my platform, is they use a lot of heavy products, right? So I
Mhm.
think about the heavy product like an artificial flower versus a regular flower, right? If you're using heavy products, it
Yeah.
still will give you a good effect, but think about a fake flower. It doesn't
Mhm.
have that glow. It's just
Yeah.
too strong. Think about a natural flower that has scent, it has organic
Mhm.
material to it. So that's what I talk about clean beauty. It's like using products that will enhance you from the inside out. So it starts in the inside,
Mhm.
starts in the gut, and then the gut and the brain are connected. So guess what? When you feel good in the gut, you're going to start thinking good thoughts. You're
Yes.
going to feel like amazing. I feel good. I can do what else can I do today? Maybe I'm going to go and call that person. Maybe I'm going to interview for that dream job. Maybe
Mhm.
I'm going to wear those pair of shoes confidently, which before I was just feeling too tired and not worthy because I wasn't feeling good in my body. So feeling good in your body is, I believe, the number one thing
Mhm.
to really work on, and whatever that means to you. And I would encourage, to do a little exercise. Like, what does feeling good in my body mean to me? Whether that's exercising, right? Like I have to exercise daily for just to feel good in my body. Any movement, whether it's a
Yeah.
walk, it's a treadmill walk, or it's a Pilates class, or sometimes I just feel like kicking hard and I go to a crazy like CrossFit class just because it feels good. So I
Mhm.
stopped kind of thinking about vanity before. I would be so, the beauty standards. You want to be skinny, you want to fit this. And now I'm doing it because it makes me feel good in my body. And
Mhm.
that's when you're connecting to her. That's connecting to her moment where you're like, I'm taking time to give myself.
Mhm.
And then you start comparing yourself. You start chasing
Yeah.
the beauty standards. You start chasing the next big thing. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be inspired. I love traveling because I feel like when you're in Europe, for example, or even New York or bigger cities, like you're seeing so much inspiration in other women and their fashion, and that is
Yeah.
inspiring. But at the same time, it's like if you're going to just always chase that, you're going to run out of creativity. Creativity happens in silence. Creativity happens when you take time for yourself. It's not when you're chasing the next thing. You're going to be always in that like searching mode, and you're not going to be able to choose for yourself. You're going to have to be told what to do. So, anyway, starts with gut
Wow.
health, then starts with telling yourself, gut health, the brain is connected. Then it's all about like, how do we talk to ourselves, right? How do we, like, again, that thing my dad says, like, I wish somebody would recognize your talent. And then for me, it was like, no, I recognize my talent. So I started into myself, you can do it. I start believing in myself.
Mhm.
And it was 2021, and I was just getting kind of exiting a brand. I built a skincare brand during the pandemic, which was really interesting. Actually, we used clinical active ingredients with CBD. And at that time, CBD
Yeah.
was very popular. And the partnership didn't work. It was a little bit more toxic for my own self, like that partnership which I had with my business partner. It just made me feel less. It made me feel, even though we were building something amazing, it just wasn't working. So I had to take some time for myself, and then I started believing that I could. So I went, I remember it was the first beauty show. It was in LA, and I said, I'm gonna go. So I bought a ticket, and it was pandemic, so everybody was kind of scared of flying. It was just
Yeah.
after the
A
pandemic.
weird time.
And I remember going to the show, and I just had the best time. I was there by myself, and I just was meeting amazing people. And I had a great time just honestly going for it, walking in the room and being like, I deserve to be here. And I talked to so many people that it just so happened that one of the person I connected with was doing a show in London a few months after. And they called me and they said, listen, we want you to come and do a talk at our show in London. And the first thing I said is, yes, of course, because I knew I had to go for it. Even though, I just before that, I was doing a lot of product development. I had my beauty school, but all in the city. And I didn't, it was just a big, scary move. Go
Mhm.
from now,
Bold.
local platform, which I was really comfortable with, to now an international platform. And I remember I was just so thrilled, but so nervous. I think I practiced my speech for like a week and I was just so nervous. And I remember even like shaking so hard. It was my first ever international presentation. But I just kept reminding, it's like, no, you're doing this for her. Like, this is where you belong. And I had, it's like fake it till you make it almost. So giving myself that opportunity and allowing myself to go for it and not backing up, it gave me the confidence to say, okay, I did that. That
Yeah.
wasn't so bad. And people would come up to me after and they said, that was amazing. You're so inspiring. And I thought, wow, okay. Like,
Mm.
I'm seeing her, and then now people see her too. I didn't wait for somebody to call me, out of the blue. I started doing those little steps, kind of like what my dad was saying, like somebody should recognize you. Well, they're not going to recognize you sitting at home. So,
Mhm.
so you have to put yourself out there. And but that wasn't what it was about. It was about just my building my confidence. So that is another way to build the confidence. It's just going
Yeah.
for the hard things and the things that are scary. Being a second language immigrant, like my English always kind of made me feel a little bit more, um, maybe a little bit more insecure, right? Of like, how can I speak on stage? But
Mhm.
beauty has been something that I've been practicing and doing for over 2 decades. So I knew that I deserved to be there. Yeah, I knew that
Mhm.
I owned it, but it's still scary. But doing the scary things helped me with my confidence. And then of course the daily practices of going back to my morning routine. It's so important to take time to really
Mhm.
do affirmation. I'm a big on meditation. I meditate every day just to be, and the reason I meditate is I like the quiet time with myself, with my thoughts, with my ideas. Again, it's just to really work on my creativity because life can be so busy and that gets us out of our feminine energy. And I believe in, I would love your opinion too, Sarah, is if you want to go back to your femininity, that requires time. That requires allowing yourself that slow morning.
Yes, I completely agree. I think your rituals are something that you need to try on. Like not every ritual will work for every person, but you should have things that are helping create the dream version of yourself and that pour into different categories of being a woman. And I think even within the month, some of your rituals will change. Your body will need different things. Yeah, it's quite interesting. I was wondering with you, a lot of women find it difficult to be silent, to go quiet. It's easier to distract yourself and just go from, I think it's a feeling of productivity. Like if I'm doing something, then I'm valuable. Versus if I slow down, what I've seen for women when they start to slow down, they're even more valuable. Their femininity comes out, they radiate, and that doesn't only just impact them, but everybody around them. Like femininity to the partner in your life is incredible. It feeds his soul. To being a mom, all of these things, when you start taking care of yourself and you can go a bit quieter, let that come out, the influence is all over the place. But getting quiet, that's really tricky. What have you found? Has that been something that you've always been able to do? Is that something you built in over time? How did that work?
That is something I work on every single day because
Okay.
I am a doer. I like to accomplish things. I want to do things. And I think that is the magic of being a woman. We can do things. We are creative. We are going to take over. This is the trajectory, and this is what every single book that's predicting 2030 is saying, that women are going to be the breadwinners. Women are going to be the future because we are coming into our own powers. But that takes time and patience with yourself, right? And again, it's the meeting you moment. So try to get curious in yourself to want to spend time with her, right? To want to spend time. Like I think it is going to be a practice in the beginning, getting quiet, going for a walk, doing the exercise, like even taking yourself to a workout class. That is quiet time for you because you have to be it's taking you away from your to-do list. Anything that can take you away from your to-do list can be a good practice to change the narrative with yourself. And I think too, your beauty routine can be that moment with you. And
Mhm.
that's what I love beauty, because it gives you that time. Like, don't rush doing your makeup. Give yourself time to do your makeup every morning. And I need a reminder about that too, because I'll leave it to last minute and then I have 5 minutes to run out the door. But that ritual of, putting on your mascara or choosing your eyeshadow that morning or doing your skincare can be that self-reflecting time with you. And that's when creativity happens. That's when you get ideas. Like, how many of you feel like, oh my God, I got the best idea in the shower, right? Because you're gonna like, that's when you're actually slowing down. So you
Yeah.
have time to think. So I feel like I always get really good ideas in the shower. But um I hear you. I think it's a struggle to really
Mhm.
allow yourself time to create. And that
Yeah.
happens in silence, not in action. Action is a very masculine and a trait, right? And we need that. We need that because we have the energy. But I think that is about balancing the quiet time. And I don't know how that looks for you. For me, is definitely in the morning. I need my 2 hours to myself. I try to wake up as early as I can just to have that extra time, whether I'm meditating or I'm just, sipping on my mate. I love drinking mate because it really opens up the brain to, like, it gives you the energy, but without the caffeine kind of crash. So it really gives me that slow morning wake up. So yeah, finding that time in the day. For me, the afternoons are always like when I have the low energy. So I don't usually like I'm trying to do things that are like maybe at my desk or not as active. And then in the evening I get active again. So I'm trying to like, do house chores. So for me, the mornings are where I'm kind of setting myself up for the day. But maybe for you is your nighttime routine. Like maybe nighttime is where everything gets quiet, there's no distraction. So maybe take that time um to reflect.
I've also found I agree with all of that. I've found that when women can curate their environment, it helps because if their environment is messy, it's noisy and it's really hard to feel beautiful, to feel relaxed when it's almost like your environment is yelling at you. So when you do your beauty routines in the morning, even just having a clean, nice space. When you start seeing mess, then it takes you out of this is a ritual portion of beauty and it becomes more this is a to-do list and you're back into productivity versus being inspired. Even a playlist. I started doing my makeup with music in the morning and completely different experience. It wakes me up, it feels nice, it feels beautiful. I play romantic type music and complete change from when it was, I just got to get through this and I got to get out the door. So little shifts that don't require much prep, but just little shifts.
I love that. I love that. I've been playing a lot of like meditation music in the morning, just doing my chores. I sometimes do even Tai Chi. I'm getting back in my Tai Chi
Oh, cool.
practice.
Okay.
5 minutes just online, but it just
Yeah.
gives you that like energy in your body. Again,
Mhm.
giving to your body first can give to you, and that's what we want. We want the best
Yeah.
version of you out there. So, I love that, and I think that yeah, just finding that space and definitely cleanness
Yeah.
for us, because if not, like we're gonna say, well, I have to clean the kitchen, or even me, I
Mhm.
cannot go to sleep if my kitchen is messy. So
Yeah.
like it's a to-do list for us,
Yeah.
So I totally get that. And I think that's really, really smart, is making sure that you have the right environment. Allow yourself to have that.
I love your flower analogy about the fake flower versus the real flower. And I feel like everything that you're saying, it goes back to more of a natural, holistic way of being. And it feels good in the soul when you hear it. Versus when you're talking about you're going to these conferences and every woman, like the most beautiful women, are going, what's the next thing? It's almost like it creates this hunger that's desperate. And you never feel satisfied. You never feel at peace. It's just, I really love this romantic version of how you're talking about it. It feels good in the soul. feels good in the body. I think more women are starting to crave that. They're seeing that they've played this out, the other version, again and again, and you're never satisfied.
Yeah. It leaves you chasing. That's why you can't chase beauty. If you
No.
chase beauty, you're never gonna get it.
Yeah.
You have to find it within, and that's my message. And there's, you know, I know we have a workshop coming soon, and I'm gonna have a some fun little exercises for everyone to practice during the workshop to
Great.
connect with her. Um,
Yeah.
and then, of course, the beauty products, right? The beauty part, which is exciting. There's so many options out there. There's a brand right now that I'm working on, and it's about sleep. It's a sleep
Okay.
brand, and it's all about. So now I feel like now brands are giving you more than just products. So this brand is
Mhm.
about sleepwear that relaxes you, is good for your skin, your body, but it's also a routine. It's a mantra, and I feel like a lot of brands that I'm working on, or the founders are calling me, they want more than just beauty products. So even the brands, the founders are giving you guys a little bit more permission to be. That's the message behind so many brands nowadays. You know, they want you, like longevity is a big thing. We see
Yes.
longevity in every single mainstream brand now, and they want longevity means truly, to me, longevity means is taking care of yourself so you can live longer, right? And there's
Yeah.
many biohacking things you can do, but skin longevity, and that's something organic about it, to your
Mhm.
point. Like longevity and Ayurveda was the first practice of longevity,
Mm.
Ayurveda method. And we see a lot of Ayurveda brands. I'm working with one right now in New York that's coming out. So really, when you're looking at your beauty products, I think like choosing something that resonates with you as a brand is very important. You have to enjoy the texture, the feel,
Okay.
the smell, right? Yes, performance is important, but it's not the most important thing because again, there's not truly one magic cream out there that's going to fix the problem. It starts from within, and then the cosmetic is the thing that can enhance, improve, but it's not going to fix. And you
Mm.
should really enjoy everything from its packaging, from its texture. And where we're doing product development, we think so hard about these elements. So we
Yeah.
spend months on choosing the right packaging for your customer experience, for your journey. We want you to love it on your vanity. We want you, when you hold it, we want you to feel something. And then
Mm.
the texture, like whether it's something like very silky or very cashmere or something very cooling, we think about that. So where it doesn't just randomly happen in a texture.
Mhm.
And then as a product developer, we're sort of like the middleman between the consumer and the chemist. So the chemist is the person that formulates, it's like the
Yeah.
baker or the chef, but we're the ones writing the recipe. So we're the ones that are thinking like how you this is gonna make you feel,
Mm.
right? So choose brands that make you feel something, because at the end of the day, that's gonna bring joy to you and it's gonna help you be in the present moment and be with her. And, you know, in terms of formula and performance, I think it's important to use something that, again, the analysis of the rows, right? If you're
Yeah.
going to use something really strong, really active, sometimes you're going to see very strong immediate effects, but it gives you that fake rose appearance almost. It's like,
Mhm.
yes, you're going to see a lot
Yeah.
of things happen, but it's not as glowy, as dewy, as natural. Whether
Yeah.
you're choosing something a little bit more gentle that can be more glowy, more transformative in the long run. So I love formulas that are a little bit more natural. They use a lot less harsh ingredients, less acids. Of course, non-toxic is important. Again, toxic triggers are the number one thing that can affect the brain and the skin.
Mhm.
Whether we're putting something toxic in your body that will affect the way we feel, or even on the skin that can have a reaction. It is hormonal disruptive, which we know as women, hormones are a big thing that we have to watch for because
Yeah.
they're real. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
you feel them, and it's something that we need support as women. So clean formulation, like I hate the word clean beauty because it doesn't mean anything. So many brands actually trademark that name. So it doesn't really, it dilutes it because what does that mean? But I like non-toxic beauty because there's a lot of toxic trigger ingredients out there which will disrupt your hormone. Will
Yeah.
it'll be too strong for your skin. So choosing something that's kind of more gentle in the
Yeah.
long run, your skin will thank you. And when it comes to makeup, I also think like makeup is a really fun tool to express yourself. That's why,
Mhm.
I ran into a colleague of mine actually a few days ago, and this was like a high school colleague. And she was like, and I remember like you always had this makeup kit and you would do everybody's makeup. And I'm like, yeah, it started in high school for sure. And it was because I loved the how it made women feel. Like
Mhm.
giving them like a blush or an eyeshadow. And I remember I used to work for Mary Kay back in the day. My dream was to be like one of those Mary Kay ladies on stage receiving her
Okay.
pink Cadillac and then I realized, oh, the ones who make the most, you know, money from this job was the
Yeah.
product developers, were the creators, were the brand founders. So I knew I had to get there one day. Unfortunately, the sales associate would get like such a small percentage, which actually is not the right, that's not right, but um
Okay.
it is it is one of the things that is a little bit broken with our industry is like the sales associate just get the least out of the big part commission of the beauty brand. But that's another story for another time.
Mhm.
But anyway, so I loved how beauty can make you feel
Yeah.
as an additional thing.
I
So
want to go back to you were talking about, okay, clean, you can't just trust clean. That doesn't really mean anything. Do people need to know the specific ingredients to watch out for, or is there certain things that would have it approved by Anna? This is what you should be looking for in your products.
yeah, so there's this gets a little bit confusing. I do have my clean guide, which I'll share with the
Okay, perfect.
group.
We can put it in the link. Yeah.
Yes, and send me a DM on Instagram and I will send it to you, approved by Anna.ca. However, there are many apps which you can use if you're really worried. And a lot of brands will have like clean, or again, clean can be a trademark. So if you're looking at
Yes.
clean as a trademark, don't always trust it, but like non-toxic, or just do your own due diligence on the brand. And then there's apps like Yuka, and there's apps like EWG. There's a lot of cool apps out there
Mhm.
where you can simply scan a product or research it, and it will tell you if it's toxic or non-toxic. The EWG association, I always product develop with them in mind because they are
Okay.
the highest standard of non-toxic beauty.
Okay. That's great. So you can
Sometimes
just
it's
type your product in
impossible.
there and
Yeah.
get the information.
And they'll give you the ranking. So like they rank products from like they have a hot list, and I think it's like if it's like hot, it's not good. But anyways, they rank the products so you'll know. It's like medium is okay. If it's like, and they'll also tell you if it's cancerogenic, if it's hormone disruptive. So
Mhm.
they actually do an amazing job to guide you, the consumer, into the right products.
What are your top three standout products right now?
Okay, so in terms of skincare, or
In skincare, makeup, you choose top three that are in your mind right now.
well, you guys will see this on my social media a lot. I'm a skincare junkie. When I found the brand Skincare Junkie, I resonated with the branding. Like I love pink and I love the name. And I met Dr. Blair, the founder, and I loved her philosophy of product development and formulation was same like mine. Non-toxic, gentle, but it works. And her products are truly divine. So always recommend Skincare Junkie to anyone that wants to start with skincare. Their moisturizer and serum in one is the perfect everyday product to moisturize, prevent, has collagen, has peptides, everything you need to maintain your routine. However, the
Okay.
med spa is where you have to go for treatments, okay? So
Okay.
treatments meaning like, let's say I want my skin to be more firm, more lifted, more glow. So I believe that those kind of more intense skin, or like deeper skin treatments, happen in the Medi Spa. An over-the-counter product that is not injected or like microneedle into the skin cannot penetrate that deep, no matter what the technology is. So
Yeah.
if you want results, that are going to be improving on the skin texture, elasticity, you have to visit your local med spa. And exosomes is something that I've been obsessed with ever since I formulated a brand with exosomes a few years ago. Hasn't launched yet, but I'm so excited for the launch. So that's probably going to be my next new obsession.
Okay.
It's called Spell Collective, and the lady that owned it hired us to create, me and my partner at the time, to create a beautiful line for her that was a generational beauty line. So the story was so beautiful. She wanted something that everyone in her family can use. And we found exosomes as one of those things that are so active and so amazing, but also so calming and nourishing. So I
Mhm.
just actually posted a video about exosomes yesterday, because every Monday I do an approved product on my
Yeah.
social media. And I talked about two versions of exosomes. So there's plant derived, which are surface level. Again, they're not going to give you, that instant facelift overnight, but they're
Yeah.
going to improve with skin texture, skin tone, brightness. So they're more of a surface level ingredient that are amazing. So
Okay.
plant-based exosomes, if you want to see real change in the skin. So let's say you're feeling young inside, you're doing all the things, but you're like, okay, the sun, the environmental stressor did some damage on my skin, and you want the skin to reflect what you feel inside, then I would
Mhm.
say go to the Medi Spa and try exosomes microneedling. This is going to change your life.
Okay.
The number one thing, microneedling as its own, is the number one thing that all the plastic surgeon recommend to do to avoid plastic surgery. Because that is, I think, like, for me, plastic surgery is something that, maybe it's a last resort. Maybe it's like you really need to, like, you haven't taken care of your skin and you really now are at a point of no return. No facials and no products going to give you that look, so you need plastic surgery. But I don't think we need to get there. I think we can sustain our skin with good products and, you know, monthly or bi-monthly or every few months treatment in the spa, because that's how we're going to prolong, and that's what longevity is about. It's not
Mhm.
harsh treatment, it's not going under the knife. It's like daily practices, is things that we can do on a regular basis to maintain.
How often do you get microneedling with exosomes?
So I do it twice a year. I've been doing it twice a year. I find that I don't need to do it more than that.
Okay.
And I kind of would notice when I need it. You just kind of see a little bit more fine lines, and
Mhm.
kind of the glow dims a little bit, the texture, you're seeing little bumps. So, but you're going to see the difference once you try even microneedling with PRP, with your own plasma. The reason I like my exosomes better is because there's more study. They're human derived. They speak to your cells to reboot them. When you're doing your own PRP, your own plasma, you don't know it's not studied. So you're literally taking your
I
blood,
see.
spinning it, getting the plasma, but
Yes.
nobody's done testing on it. How do we know it's potent? Technically, it should be. So with exosomes, they're coming from a lab. They're usually tested. You know exactly what you're putting in your
Mhm.
skin.
What do you think of the salmon sperm facial? You heard of that?
Okay, so I've tried it. I have
Okay.
tried them all because I always want to know.
Yeah.
So for example, for me, I'm actually allergic to salmon. So that's one of my toxic
Oh,
triggers. So, but then
no.
I didn't think about it. I was like, I can eat salmon, but I'm putting it on my skin. So I didn't have a good reaction.
Okay.
I find that exosomes for me are, you know, as a human species,
Mhm.
getting human derived products into your skin, it goes well with it, right? Fish exosomes, or fish stem cells, or growth cell, whatever whatever we want
Yeah.
to call it, um it's not something that maybe we're as humanized to, or uh,
Yeah.
normalized to it. So sometimes you may have reactions. So I feel like with exosomes, human derived exosomes, the results are pretty consistent. um didn't love the salmon sperm facial as much, but
Okay.
that was just my experience.
Okay. Amazing. I want to shift gears a little bit to your business expertise because you're in a market that is flooded. So, how do you stand out? How do you keep your confidence and your focus in that?
So are you talking like personal
Yeah, personal and
brand?
both actually,
Yeah. So
because you're
I
developing both.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can
I
start where
think
you like.
yeah, okay, let's start as like what I tell my clients, right? So I think it's so important to know your customer. The number one thing is know your consumer and formulate products for them. Um, in terms of my personal life, how do I stay on the edge? I guess again, it's the daily practices. When I'm out and like I was traveling a lot for the first part of the year, and I just felt so out of sync with me, out of sync with my lifestyle, with my daily practices, and I just was feeling lost.
Mhm,
So I had to say no more travel. I'm gonna stay put for a while, and I started doing my morning routine, my
mhm,
exercise. So I think that for me is just staying consistent in my routine to make sure that I'm allowing myself to, for my creativity to allow to create new ideas, to
mhm,
create meaningful connections. So I think it's like not looking outside, not comparing, not trying to chase, not trying to level up, is trying to be giving myself time.
mhm. When we talk about femininity, a lot of the time, what I teach about is that you need to have rituals that nourish and pour into your femininity. So you're not waiting on a feeling. It's kind of like supplements or all of these things working in the background that keep you in the right space. But it's when those things slowly fall off where it feels like you get frazzled or you get distracted from your purpose. So you sound like you have amazing rituals. What are some of your favorite ones?
Again, I'm going to go back to my morning routine
Yeah,
because
go for
that
it.
is the key. That's going to dictate, dictate what your day is going to be like. So, morning routine, listening to whatever makes you feel good. I love meditations. I love calming songs. I like doing my tai chi. I drink my mate, giving
Mhm,
myself time to think. Calling a friend, maybe, doing something for me. I used to wake up and like chase emails and chase phone calls. So I try to, sometimes I have to talk to Europe really early. So those days I always feel a bit thrown off because I like my, morning routine to be all about me and maybe going to a workout. I usually have to do an exercise, like have to do some sort of exercise
mhm.
every day. So like that usually is in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's part of my morning routine. And then, for example, I would do this year, I haven't done one yet, and I'm due for one. I do my 3 week resets. 3 week reset is like my time to let go of the old and kind of embody my future self. And that is a really heavy protocol. It requires a lot of discipline. So it starts with the inside, eliminating all toxic triggers or all triggers that could create a negative impact in your body, including meat at this point. So I don't eat any meat. I don't drink coffee for 3 weeks. I become very, very clean, lots of salad, lots of easy to digest, because again, digestion takes a lot from
Mhm,
from us, from our energy. So I try to go 3 weeks in this period of really allowing to kind of fast, allowing my body to shed any old and in fact, this kind of reminds me a little bit of my daily thing that I don't like to eat after 6 because
mhm.
I like to
Interesting.
give I like to give my
Yeah,
body time to digest. So I do my twice a year resets, and they're called gut resets, but truly they're so much more. They give me so much clarity. It's a time for me to think about my goals. I don't wait for the New Year resolution thing. I try to do it
yeah,
on a constant movement to think about what do I want to accomplish next? What do I want? So when you're doing the reset is really a time to the first week is the hardest because you're
yeah.
like just changing so much, but then you have this creativity, this lightness about yourself, and ideas come because you're so, I would say, clean, right? Like there's nothing that's kind of, and then you realize like, oh my God, I'm so dependent on coffee and I'm so dependent on sugar, and you feel free. You truly feel like this freedom that you actually don't need anything to be you. There's a freedom
Has
that comes with that.
has discipline come easy for you? Like that's a big thing to commit to. A lot of people I'm sure are thinking, I couldn't give it up for 3 days. Is that something you've built, a muscle you built, or have you always been a disciplined person?
That's a good point. You caught that. I um I think, yeah, I've always been, growing up in Eastern Europe. I'm from Europe. I think we kind of have a bit more of a disciplined regime to us, I guess, growing up in
Mhm.
those times, and everything was very structured. And I also, coming to North America as a young girl, I feel like I had to get my stuff together. I had to be strong, and I have that strength inside of me. When I put my mind to something, I will do it. If not, I find it. Again, like, don't wait for other people to find it in you. Find it within yourself. And it truly, for me, I kind of chose this um more of a disciplined lifestyle after my IVF journey, when I feel like my life was just going like I wasn't in control of anything in my life. It was just I was not feeling good in my body. Just everything was not going well. So I said, this is the only way to connect with me, is to take charge. So I don't truly see it as like a discipline. Like, I don't see it as something negative. I actually see it as a little fun protocol with myself. It's
Yeah.
again connecting with me, and I like to spend time with her, and I like to find her. Like, have you met her before? Like, do you know that person inside? Because she will surprise you. I maybe surprised myself when I start doing these, how
Yeah.
well I was doing, and I didn't want to go back to my routine because I just felt so good. And I think
Mhm.
sometimes maybe that's scary. Change is scary for a lot of people. Um, Maybe to reshift the mindset. Like, don't let it become this discipline thing that's hard. Let it become fun. Let it become part of curiosity with yourself. So I probably changed my narrative. I
Okay.
kind of changed the way I saw it. Or maybe it was inside me already. I don't know.
I really like what you said when you went on that first trip to London and you were going and you were nervous and you were going to speak at this event, but you knew the vision of the woman you wanted to be and you are becoming and are already living out, and you were committed to that. So that overrode the nerves. And I think that's one thing that helps women is if you actually think through, going back to getting quiet and think through, what does this woman that I want to be look like, feel like? How is she perceived by the world? And then understanding, okay, I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to have all of these things come up, but that's normal. My commitment to this woman is deeper than that. It's bigger than all of these things.
Absolutely. I think, Sarah, it's like, we look so much at other women, and I think this comparison is just so hard on us, right? And we all are unique, beautiful selves. And
Mhm.
again, that's another thing that I loved makeup, beauty for, and doing makeup is I got to bring out the unique beauty in you. And it was
Mhm.
magical when women saw that and they saw themselves. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
that was a magic moment, but it's within you without the makeup, right? And it's like trying to find that and trying to believe in yourself, and not comparing is hard, especially in a age of social media and having that sort of beauty standard in your face every day. But that's why it's so important to take the time, be quiet, do your morning routine, do your facial routine with yourself, and just say, like, wow, my skin is so beautiful today. I know it sounds cheesy, but really admire your skin and start saying, like, oh my God, my skin's so bad, because that's not going to change anything.
Mhm. Yeah. We talked offline a little bit about biohacking and some of the fun things. Is there one that you want to share that you've been doing or your favorite one? Something a little bit of a secret?
I don't know if it's a secret. I mean, I have been experimenting with different things that are kind of called biohacking, but I truly think like my resets are part of like a
Okay.
huge part of biohacking, because it really gives your body time to
Mhm.
rebuild. I know fasting is really trendy because it's supposed to be like rebuilding, but I look at like I don't like fasting because I feel restricted. I like to listen to my body. So,
Okay.
if I don't like to eat, like if I don't like to eat too late, because I know my body is gonna have a hard time sleeping because it's digesting. And when I sleep, I want my body to recharge and replenish, So like that's kind of how I think of these
Mhm.
intermediate fasting, things. I just don't like to say I'm not going to eat from this to this because if I'm hungry the next day early in the morning, I'm going to eat early in the morning. So that making sure that I just listen to my body. Um, I do ice face plunges every morning, and
Okay, tell us about this.
that for me has been life changing. Okay, so inflammation, I call it inflammaging, and we're going to get to this in our workshop. But inflammation, this is how we can connect our gut health to our brain, to our skin. Okay, because if you are inflaming your body, you're going to see it in your skin, and that's what ages you, right?
Mhm.
Inflammation ages you, inflammaging. So doing ice water in the morning honestly gets rid of any inflammation in your face. So all of
Mhm.
a sudden you're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm so chiseled, so sculpted. And then just having that kind of wake up moment, I like to play my music. I do my cold plunge. I sip on my lemon water, which I have to have every day, is my non-negotiable. I'm so used to it now as a routine. And then it's just like it's part of like waking up, but also your skin feels tighter. I feel like my products absorb better.
Yeah.
It's not scientifically proven, or I haven't read any studies. I just, my personal study, I just feel like my products go better. The pores shrink. All
Mhm.
of a sudden, you're like, oh my God, I have no pores, no fine lines. So everything is kind of like, it just helps with inflammation, which we see immediate results.
Yeah.
So I love doing that. It's like my face biohacking. I would,
Is it a bowl you just put your face in, or how do you do it?
it's a bowl. Honestly, it's just not
A
fancy.
bowl of ice?
It's not fancy at all. It's a bowl of ice. Um, I would love to do a cold plunge every morning if I had the facility. However, as women, we go to different times of the month, so it's not always there's not every month that every day of the month that I feel like I should do a cold plunge. Sometimes I'm just feeling so strong, my body feels strong. Sometimes my body feels sensitive. I want to, take a hot bath instead and just, put some essential oils in my bath. So I think for the body is different, but for the face, it has to be every day. And I
Okay.
actually started doing it before events. So what I would have, if I'm doing a trade show, or I do a lot of influencer events, so where we're inviting, the mega influencers and we're gifting them products. It's called the gifting suite. And then those days can run long. And we usually do 3 days at a time, and I don't have time. Like it's just go, go, go. And
Mhm.
you're talking to people and it's a lot. And then the next day I'm doing glam again. And I have to, it's like wake up early, go to bed late, and my face is inflamed. Like I'm standing all day, probably
Yeah.
hardly get time to eat. And I'm just inflamed. So I started doing the ice trick then because I needed something. And now I just do it every morning.
Amazing. So it's your first thing before you cleanse your face, before you do everything.
Exactly. I don't. So another thing too, I don't wash my face with cleanser in the morning. I don't believe in over cleansing because then you're stripping the natural oils. So in the morning, I just rinse my face. So I do the ice bucket, and then I'll go and put my skincare on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And
So,
then
yeah.
one more hack that I have been obsessed with. However,
Yeah.
this is a self-experiment. Okay, don't take my word for it. You have to see your naturopath or doctor. I start doing NAD shots, but
Hmm.
not on a daily basis. I'm doing it when I feel like I need that extra boost of energy.
Hmm.
So I would do like one every few weeks just for energy. I'm not doing it as a longevity protocol because I still think there's a lot of testing that needs to be done. There's a lot of controversy. So I feel like you have to realize how your body will, on a daily basis, how your body will process it, how
Yeah.
much dose you exactly need. So I just do it as like a reboost when I'm feeling like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit run down. I'll take
Mhm.
a shot. I do an injection. And I have to tell you, I immediately feel like, whoop, like it's almost like the battery gets recharged.
Powerful.
You know,
Yes.
and B12 shots. I just took my blood test. So another thing that I like to do, and I encourage everyone to do if you have the opportunity, is take regular blood tests to see your levels, hormone levels, vitamin levels, see
Hmm.
what's missing. I just took my levels and my vitamin B12 was perfect. Vitamin D was perfect. So I'm doing a good job with my supplements.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like I kind of test that to see where I'm lacking. I haven't gotten into peptide therapy. or anything like that yet. I
We're
feel
going to talk about that.
like it's not a thing. I'm not an expert on it yet, so I'm still doing a lot of homework.
I love that you test things because I feel like there is so much, again, noise out there that's like, do this, do this, do this. And people don't even know if it's working for their body. But having that regular blood test and hormone test, you can see am I investing wisely or am I just throwing things away, not
Yeah,
getting
I'm big
results?
on testing. Like there's another test that I encourage everyone to do. It's called Viome, Viome, and that
Mhm.
tests for toxicity trigger. So that's why I say toxic trigger. So you
Yeah.
get your sort of like food list back. So you can like, for example, cherries for some people are toxic triggers. For me, cherries are my superfoods. For my
Mm,
husband, they're his like bad don't eat list. So
okay.
sometimes it helps to navigate, and that doesn't mean like don't ever eat them. Just know that they may have a reaction in your body
Yes.
that will cause inflammation. And we know inflammation.
Yes. Inflammaging.
Inflammation. So we want to keep the inflammation low.
Yeah, I love it. So, July 26th, you're coming and you are speaking at the Feminine Collective. This is my subscription membership that is happening. And right now, doors are open. So, ladies, you can join and be part of this class. I would love to hear, what are you most excited to share? What can people expect when they come?
Well, I'm excited to meet everybody and meet the community, and hopefully, I get to resonate with everyone. And I'm excited to share some of my personal stories. I think that it's so important for us to share our stories to realize like we're all dealing with very similar situations, and we're not born with that confidence. We are working every day towards it, and don't feel intimidated by the woman walking in the room with more confidence to do, because she probably worked towards that. She's not born with it, even though Maybelline wants you to think that. But yeah, I think you are doing such an amazing job to really help women connect with their femininity. So I think this is going to be an amazing workshop. I'm also going to bring some of my worksheets and just the things that I used to teach in my beauty school, like the 4 seasons and how to choose colors for yourself. And it's such an old school method, but it works. So I like to bring that up to just awareness so people can have those tools. They're online. You can find them if you need to navigate your style or what colors to wear. I have a little quiz for that. And then talking about my, of course, clean beauty list or non-toxic beauty list, which
Love it.
we can send to everyone in advance or after the class so they can keep it in their phone when they're shopping at any store. And yeah, just meeting the community. I really, again, my new mission is to empower women to find themselves and find that confident person inside. So this is an amazing opportunity for me to practice that message.
I know they're going to be so excited. I'm so excited about this class. I loved this talk. Where can people find you?
Thank you for thinking of me, Sarah. So, definitely on my Instagram, I'm very active. I post on a regular basis. On Monday, we have approved products. So, if you are looking for new products you want to try, I either approve them or not approve them. So, Instagram is a place where I like to connect with my community. And then my website, approvedbyanna.ca, where you can see all about the brands that I worked with, product development. And I have a new live shopping channel coming next month. So
So
I'm
exciting. Tell
very
us about it.
excited. So live shopping as we know it, it kind of thinks of like old school, my mom or my grandma watching it at night. So we're modernizing it. We are going to do it online. And I'm going to have all my approved by Anna lifestyle products that I love and trust, including my outfit today is by a local brand called The Untold Chapter. And I'm going to be showcasing live where people have the opportunity to learn more about the products. I think products are so hard to shop when you're seeing them cold on the website, but when you have an opportunity to have somebody describe them and show them and really see them in motion, they can connect a bit better. So I want to have this platform called live shopping for you guys to just be able to shop approved products, which if you're wondering what are approved products, so I always like to find the best quality, the best price, and the most effective. And that's what the approved stamp is. We like to give you top-notch quality with really good pricing, and somebody that is also a good founder story. I love buying into the brands, not just the product. So it kind of has this kind of wholesomeness to it. So we look at personality, offering, price, and quality. So that's from all around. So we're gonna have
Yeah.
fashion, hair, makeup, skincare, some of the brands that I helped develop. And also, of course, we have to have health. So supplements and things that I've tried, which I approve, are gonna be on the live show as well. So it's gonna be, for now, we're doing it twice a month, and then
Okay.
the fall it's gonna be once a week. So 4 times a month.
Amazing. I'm so excited. Thank you for your time. This was incredible. Guys, go check out her Instagram. Not only is it a wealth of information, you've heard some of what she shares today, but she is so stunning and her style will inspire you. So go enjoy, and we will see you on July 26th for the Feminine Collective meeting.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Sarah. That was so much fun.
Thank you.